Antonio Jakes, you're the one guy I actually know from Facebook and have met in person during this entire satellite media tour.
Good morning, Micah. When I got the invite, I was like, okay, well, at least I know him
Yeah,
personally.
I mean, this is just like two dudes just talking. I mean, this is going to be the easiest interview of the day.
Definitely. It's a good way to start the day.
Well, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
So my first question is, who topped the list for 2017?
Yeah, topping our list this year it's no surprise. It's the same car that's topped our list for the last 4 years, the Mazda 3. If you look over my right shoulder, I'm just going to walk and go physically touch the car here. Mazda 3. Oh, that's nice. You've probably driven, a range of cars in your blogging days, and the Mazda 3 is a perennial favorite. Has been on our list 14 years in a row because it's just so fun to drive. Among compact cars, it's hard to find a car that gives you so much back, through the steering and has such lively handling dynamics. And it also just looks really cool. Mazda's doing a great job with their design work. So it's the kind of car that you feel human emotions, which is so rare these days. It's so nice to feel a human emotion when you drive a car, and the Mazda 3 has emotion to spare.
Definitely an underrated vehicle when it comes to the compact segment.
Yeah. If you look at sales data, it's like people should be buying more Mazda 3s, but that's okay. It can just be a quiet secret among people who are in the know or people who happen to be watching right now and are listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
So, what were the deciding factors for picking the top contender?
Yeah, the cool thing about our coolest cars under $18,000 list is that it is inherently subjective. I mean, who knows what cool means? Well, we kind of do, in that cars that feel good to drive, and also, cars that when you are walking away from them in the parking lot, you look over your shoulder and you're like, yeah, that's my car. The Jeep Renegade is a great example of that. It's one of the few cars that both my wife and I agree on. She thinks it's cute. I think it looks kind of compact and rugged. But what's great about the Jeep Renegade is that you can do some really impressive off-roading. I've spent some time off-roading Renegades, and it's pretty darn capable. That small form factor makes it great for squeezing in between rocks and trees, and yet there's a surprising amount of interior space, and that small form factor also makes it a great vehicle for urban environments. So it's like, there's not a lot of parking, in downtown wherever. I'm in LA right now. The Renegade will probably fit. So really cool. But if you're not like the rugged type, if you want something that's maybe a little bit sportier, the Toyota Corolla IM. So what's really cool about the IM is that not only does it drive great, it's a lot of fun to drive, and it's also got a practical hatchback form factor, but they've done an interesting thing price-wise. It's a little bit of a holdover from the IM's day as a Scion, but Toyota sells it in a mono-spec format. So basically, there's one version of it, and it comes really well equipped. So you've got automatic AC, 8 airbags, lane departure warning, automatic pre-collision braking, the kind of stuff that typically you'd pay extra for if you were buying a similar vehicle. And it just comes for that base price, which, as a quick point of clarification, is under $18,000 based on Kelley Blue Book's fair purchase price, which is a stronger indication of what people are actually paying for said vehicles, out there at dealership lots.
Yeah, I think that's a great value point. A lot of people are looking for that kind of technology but don't want to spend the money for it in a more expensive vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a time where, a lot of the technology and features that are found in our list were kind of saved for people who are buying, much more expensive vehicles. But eventually it all trickles down, and then, normal people like you and I can afford to buy it. And that's why it's so cool to do this list every year, because people may not be aware of just how many options they have, despite, a comparatively modest budget.
So even though consumers are getting a bargain, are they missing out on any innovative features?
There are a ton of features that are still reserved for much more expensive cars, but even in this sub $18,000 starting price range for our cool cars list, you can still get some amazing technology. The IM is a great example. I mentioned lane departure warning and automatic pre-collision braking. That's the kind of stuff that if you're, let's say, buying a car for your teenager and you want to feel really good that they've got that extra layer of safety and protection. I know you have a daughter. One of these days she's going to drive, and you want want to make sure she has as much.
Which I'm very nervous about.
Completely fair. I have a daughter too. She's about 14 years away from driving. It's like, let's see how the technology is. But yeah, all those features come standard in the IM, and that's for, again, a sub $18,000 starting price according to Kelley Blue Book's fair purchase price. So you don't have to give up technology. Now, to be clear, if you start throwing on options, you can definitely pop above that $18,000 mark. The Jeep Renegade, you start throwing stuff at it, you can make a fairly expensive Renegade. But if your budget is modest, you can definitely get a reasonably techy, very cool car.
So how can viewers use this information when doing their own car shopping?
The great thing about this list is that when you buy a car, you probably don't have a sense of what the automotive landscape looks like. You maybe haven't bought a car in 3 to 5 years. You don't know what's available. So what's awesome about it is I get to talk about cool cars, but also I get to highlight vehicles that people may not know exist. They might just be like, oh, I think I saw one of those and that was pretty cute, but they don't know it's a Jeep Renegade or they don't know it's a Mazda 3. So take a look at the list, and there may be cars on there you didn't know existed and you may not have considered. And the other great thing that you can do when you go to kbb.com is get a price that is reflective of what people are actually paying at the dealership lot. And what that does is it gives you a basis for negotiation. Every car dealer is going to be a negotiation. And most people just want to know, I'm not being taken, right? I'm like not making a bad decision here. So our Price Advisor tool is a really great way to give you a target to aim for with your negotiations. And that makes you an empowered car shopper. And it also makes car shopping fun, because cars are fun and that should be a fun process. Can't we just have fun?
They definitely are.
Yeah.
Well, Micah, it's been a pleasure. These are some great tips, and I can't wait to share this with our viewers.
Oh, much appreciated. Thanks for chatting.
Take care.
Bye-bye.